So my name is Q. I've been recently more into carpentry, but when I was younger, I kind of come from a background of automotive, which is mostly working on cars. I started doing body work when I was like 15. My first car was a 1990 Mustang. I had a couple holes in the wheel wells, and back then I was just doing shoddy body work, riveting and a license plate behind it and covering it with fiberglass type of stuff. It was pretty gnarly. I learned a lot from that experience, and then I ended up getting more into the mechanical side of things, and then back into body work when I ended up going to school for it, Vincennes University, and learned a lot. You know, I love painting. The prep side is a little bit more tedious, but luckily with the bus, you can really paint these things a variety of ways, just because they're not show vehicles. You know, you can use tractor paint, or a lot of people have used house paint. I've seen people paint the buses with Flex Seal and stuff like that. Pretty broad variety of ways to do it. You can spray paint them really if you want to. It's just about how much money you feel like spending and how high quality of a job you want it to look like. I plan on using this, you know, in campgrounds and off the beaten path, so I wasn't really planning on spending a whole bunch of money on paint and body material. All I did was I bought I think I bought a box of 180 grit sandpaper and a box of 180 grit sandpaper, and I prefer the hook and loop. It's Velcro style. I use an air sander just because if you try to do this with an electric sander, you're going to be at it all day. It's going to take forever. This is really the way to go is an air sander if you can make that happen. Obviously, I know everyone doesn't have a big air compressor and a shop to their disposal like I do. Another way that I've gotten lucky on this build, I've had a place to be able to store it. I've stored it in multiple places, but I would definitely recommend not getting too crazy. I've seen some pretty nicely painted ones, but honestly the ones that I've liked the best out of all the schoolie paint jobs I've seen were I've seen a couple people did on the side of the campground where they just scuffed it up real quick with an electric sander and hit it with a couple cans of rattle can primer, and I saw some graffiti jobs that look pretty sick. And I think I'm gonna just paint mine with some oil-based Rust-Oleum house paint. We're gonna roll it on, get it to so the whole thing's white. I'll probably use roof coating on the roof just to get it a good seal. And then I've got a cousin who's pretty artistic, and I'm gonna have her just kind of work her magic. I'm not gonna give her any template. Just tell her, you know, free range, whatever you're feeling today. If you feel like painting octopus on the side, and that's what you feel like doing, do it. I don't care. I'm not too picky. Really just getting the color changed is more for insurance purposes for me. White, I chose white as a background, just keep the heat down a little bit. People seem to have some success with that. I've also been considering painting over the bottom half of the windows, because I don't plan on using the bottom half. I'll probably have them mostly covered up, and on the inside they'll be insulated over, and I don't think that it really is going to hurt to paint over them. It does take more masking, I think. Masking tape isn't always the cheapest thing, and when you have to use tons of it, and you will be using a good chunk of it on this. Another thing to keep in mind with masking tape is if you go to somewhere like an auto parts store, the stuff they have on the shelf will be much more expensive than if they might have some in the back that they get in a catalog in bulk. You'll probably be able to get that a little cheaper. I know I can at our local O'Reilly's at least. I think you'll be able to save a little bit, or I'll be able to save a little bit because I'm rolling it on. If you have a spray gun and you're going to spray it, you have to get a little more crazy with the masking paper. One little hack I will tell you with masking, I buy a lot of stuff from O'Reilly's just because I used to work there when I was a teenager and I know where everything is and I'm comfortable there, I guess. At the end of every month, they throw away like stacks of their old catalogs, their monthly catalogs that show all their sales and stuff. So I usually just try to swing in there toward the end of the month and let them know, like, instead of throwing those away, just stack them up and I'll come in and grab them. And then you can cover a lot of things with those and just use a couple pieces of tape to hold it down instead of using buying like a roll of masking paper, or I've seen some people use newspapers, which are pretty effective because they're nice and long and cover a lot with one piece. Personally, I'm trying to put myself on a deadline. I've had the bus for maybe 2 months, and I would like to be able to use it this summer at least to go camping. I don't really plan on having my solar panels paid for, and I might not even have my water tanks hooked up by the summer, but I would like to at least take it to a campground and park in it and have my bed in it and maybe my cabinets started. Like to see some other people's schoolies and some van projects and things that are out and about, so it would be nice to be able to take a short trip even this summer and then maybe get around to finishing it maybe this summer, maybe in the spring. I don't know, I'm trying not to think too far ahead, don't want to really get overwhelmed. I noticed a lot of people say that they get overwhelmed easily because they're trying to plan so far ahead, so I'm just trying to take it one step at a time, you know, no need to rush. Something else that I think is important that I don't think I've touched on yet is you'll notice in all my videos I have headphones on. I do that for ear protection as well as just to keep me in a good mood, because it's really all about having a good time while you're doing this. You know, this is kind of my main hobby, my main stress reliever. So without music, I don't think this would be near as fun. I actually spend quite a bit of time in my editing cutting out pieces where I'm singing, and just for copyright issues, I don't want any weird, you know, legal issues just because I'm singing and having a good time. Somebody want to come rain on my parade, but yeah, definitely wear some sort of ear protection. PPE is important. Don't try to say you're tough, or you know, your eardrums can handle it, or your lungs can't handle it. We're all very fragile beings, so whether you think you are or not, one shard of metal in your eyeball will ruin your day, I promise you that. Well, I hope some point of in this video you got some sort of useful advice. I hope you're staying hydrated. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. I hope you continue to be those things. Make sure you're enjoying yourself while getting into all this work, and thank you for watching the videos.